are now should be going up for YouTube, Facebook, and then I'm waiting on Instagram to sync in. Hey there, guys. Nolan Walker here with Business Guy, here to answer questions. I've been in business since I could push a lawnmower. I've owned a bunch of businesses over the years, but I currently own HVAC Webmasters, Roofing Webmasters, Plumbing Webmasters, and Data Pens map ranking app. And I have a little bit of real estate. I'm committed to building my personal brand after marketing for years and years and years. We do marketing for other companies on a lot of organic on Google, Bing, new AI integration content, that kind of thing. Here to answer questions if anybody's got any, and happy to do so. I'd love to answer business questions. I don't care if you're a kid thinking about it or somebody starting out or somebody who's been in business for a long time. I really don't mind. If you've got a question, I'd like to be able to answer it and help you. So on this stuff that we have right now, I really, I'm always working to earn money for myself, my family, and I'm a provider. I'm an entrepreneur, but I really don't have any ulterior motives on this stuff except building my brand. So if you've got questions, I'll answer anything I can. If it's within my wheelhouse of knowledge, I will tell you, let's see here. Hang on a second. Okay, yeah, we're on there. Yeah, so if you got questions, there's ask us, and we'll go straight into them. Anybody have any questions? I have a lot of knowledge with small business contractors, that kind of thing, and a little bit about marketing too. And if you're not into contracting business, I can answer questions as well. Still a holiday week, it feels like, almost. I think most people are working, maybe people under a storm watch a little bit. We're in Texas, still has hurricane residuals even in Dallas, Fort Worth, where we are. Any questions, guys? Questions about business? Questions about working for yourself versus working for somebody else? Questions about how to get in business, what to do with your own business? I'm not an attorney, but I can answer a lot of different stuff. Anybody's got a question? Hey there, questions, anyone? Anybody got questions? Happy to answer them. Name's Nolan Walker, own several businesses, been in business for eons. Yeah, oh wow. Yeah, anybody got any questions, let me know. Happy to answer them. Currently own several businesses that I've had for a while: Roofing Webmasters, Plumbing Webmasters, HVAC Webmasters, as well as Data Pens map ranking app. I have a little bit of real estate, worked since I could push a lawnmower. If anybody has questions, I'm happy to answer them. I don't really care if it's about whether you should work for yourself or someone else, how to start a business. How did I get started? Go ahead. If you got questions, ask them. As far as how I got started, honestly, I just was pushing a lawnmower as a child. Nowadays, you guys can pick up and start a channel. You can start a brand. You can sell something online. You can do a lot of digital stuff. But back in the day, we had lawnmowers, weed eaters. We did manual labor as kids, and that was all we had the chance to do. You can get on and make a lot more money at a younger age now if you wanted to try it. If you're young and you're asking that question, I wouldn't stress about it too much yet, but it's always nice to try stuff, get some failures under your belt. But yeah, I mowed lawns, painted numbers on curbs, kind of rode a hard knocks type stuff. I think most entrepreneurs start because they kind of have to on some level. If you have a really cushy life, you just kind of, you're not going to become an entrepreneur a lot of times, right? And not a successful one. If you've got a warm bed and a full fridge and you made good grades and got into a good college, got a good job, that kind of thing, you went down that traditional route. A lot of entrepreneurs had a rougher time and kind of had to do their own thing, even if they were like doing their own profession or something. They kind of had to do it type thing. I kind of felt like I had to do it on some level. After I started mowing lawns, I was out on my own. I didn't get to go to college and do all that stuff. I did go to college. I paid for my own way, but I was paying for junior college. I was literally mowing lawns and paying for junior college, but it was tough to pay for that. And believe it or not, back then I couldn't get even a loan to go to college. It's a lot easier now than it was when I was in my 20s. But I couldn't get a loan even, so I had to wait, and I was paying for college. I finally got a loan after I was emancipated at like 21, 22, and I finished about 80 hours going through junior college. But I had a business beginning to do so well and make so much money back in the early 2000s. I was like, what am I doing still trying to finish college? Because I was making $1 million a year doing home security systems. So I was in home security back before people did that. We used to hardwire them and use landlines. It was before wireless and before even cellular signaling. And a lot of people got scared after 9/11, 2001. And I was in business, and we had a little bit of a presence. And I grew by 10 times literally after 9/11. So when 9/11 hit, Americans were very concerned about their security. I don't think a home security system would have helped anybody, but it was a new time, and it seemed like a lot of innocence gone from people, and they were just spooked after 9/11. And we went from selling about 30 alarm systems a month to close to 300. And that was a lot. We would take inbound phone calls, sell someone over the phone. I think I've sold 10,000 alarm systems myself over the phone. And then somebody would go out and install that. And I was from flooring store business, by the way. And whoever asked me that question, how I got started, you know, at least I got the example of entrepreneurial stuff. And my dad was a CPA. He's retired, still alive, but retired from it and didn't make a bunch of money doing accounting, but he tried. But you've still got to even know marketing and do marketing if you're a professional service. You can be a professional service and just tank and make no money. In fact, I went to VidCon a week ago in Anaheim, California with my kids. I have kids that are entrepreneurs and doing stuff, but there was a Dallas-based accountant there, and he was doing great. He had 160,000 social media followers on just Instagram, had 20 people working for him at 28 years old, and was getting his audience and marketing through Instagram and combining it with a professional service like accounting. And it was fabulous. So marketing is great. It's really what everyone needs to be focused on as a primary. Yes, I'm an entrepreneur, but man, that means I'm a marketer first. It just does. Hey there, guys. Ask questions if you've got them. My name's Nolan Walker. I'm an old school entrepreneur, still going after it. I will till the day I die. And I have multiple businesses. I feel like I'm very successful at my age. Got questions about marketing, how to get in business, how to change something in your business? Got questions for me, how I can help you? Ask them. I'm happy to answer questions. No strings attached, just questions. I'll answer them if you got them. I know a lot about marketing. I know a lot about business. Got questions, ask them. Happy to answer anything. So, but yeah, go ahead and ask a question if you got it. If you've got a question, ask it. So yeah, as far as after I got out on my own at 17, after I got out on my own at 17, I was mowing lawns and painting curbs, and I grew from there. So the lesson from that, looking back, just try stuff, do what you can, and just move forward. And, I didn't start out owning digital marketing agencies, software company, and real estate. I mean, I started out pushing a lawnmower, painting curb numbers. But I started, and you learn as you go. You'll be shocked at how good you get at everything and how much knowledge accumulates. Power washing business. I have a lot of experience with helping contractors. Can you do to start a power washing business? I would say you can actually, I would get a Google business profile first. So this is old school stuff and old school digital. I'm not talking about old school, radio, television, billboards, Valpak money mailers. I'm talking about old school Google Bing, new integrated AI search algorithm stuff. That's the stuff I'm talking about. So when you're going to start out with this, you still have your money paying Americans in homes and businesses. They're almost all going for a contracting service, still looking on Google. They might be going to Bing now or asking ChatGPT, but they're going to Google, looking up stuff. So go to Google and type in Google business profile and get a postcard mailed and get verified, and then attach the cheapest website you can to this little business. I'm not saying that that's the best thing, but it'll start you. Don't pay more than $100 a month for a website if $5 or $10 or $20, and then begin to get some reviews on the Google business profile. You'll begin to show up in map ranking in your area, hopefully. Now, if you get into what we do for roofers, plumbers, HVAC, it gets much more competitive than power washing. But if you're just starting to start out a power washing business and you don't have any money, that's the place to start. So you start there. And if you're young enough to not care, and by the way, I'm 51, so all you old guys out there, but if you're young enough not care, pick up your phone, get on Instagram, get on something, get on YouTube, and start documenting this stuff. YouTube, just document it, just record some of your power washing before and afters while you're doing it, go live, get a little Instagram, and you'll start getting some synergies there too. Start with Google though, because it's still where people are going to get leads. Optimize it a little bit extra with that. And once you want to do something bigger, get some SEO help, digital marketing help. That'll get you started. And then in the meantime, I'll tell you too, don't go front load it. Don't go get the cart before the horse. Maybe put a little magnetic thing on your truck, but don't get a truck wrap, new truck. Don't get overhead. Don't get somebody to answer the phone. Don't go get an office. Get marketing and business leads going first. Yeah, I've got a question. Go ahead and ask a question if you got one. What is your question? But yeah, other things again, how do you start? Market to leads to a sale. Google first on service business. Do a little bit of social media. Don't raise any overhead. Make sure you got your legal taken care of too. You don't want to get in a wreck out there in your car if you own a home and have your personal assets attacked. So I don't want to go into too much about it. So any questions, guys? Any questions? Real questions? Questions. Yeah, so keep the overhead kind of low, make a profit when you go do a power washing gig, right? So don't do that. And by the way, guys, trollers, haters out here, I'll respond to somebody. I will respond to somebody. You judge people, you hate. Now, when I was a kid, man, we used to knock on somebody's doors, run off, or prank phone call them. Nowadays, you just get on and troll somebody. And I get it. I did all that stuff. I mean, we threw exit cars and did stuff that kids don't even do today. But you can't do that stuff for long. You judge people, make fun, have hate, and you cannot become that which you hate. Judgment, little things, it actually hurts you in life. It does. So if your kid having some fun, have some fun, but be careful. Don't be slinging hate around too much. Get leads. We talked about how to get leads a little bit, but start with the Google business profile for a contracting business. Get the reviews coming in, attach the website. You're beginning something called EEAT, Experience, Expertise, Authority, and Trust. And you'll end up sending signals to Google. If you don't do this just so your brain can understand it, they don't know who you are. They don't know you have a business. So you verify and say, I got a business. Please check me out. I'm legitimate. Can you please pull me up in ranking when someone types in power washing in my area? And they'll be like, well, no, bro, you don't have any signals, no reviews, and no website. So get the Google business profile verified and then work on some signals like some reviews. If they leave you a BBB review, it's fine, and then connect it to a website, just a simple one. I do way higher end stuff than this for people with some agency work, but this will work for power washing to start out with no money. And then begin to get some signaling to them and go, okay, this guy's getting some reviews. we're starting to trust him. Experience, expertise, authority, and trust signals are coming in from time to time. And yeah, it's not bad. So you'll begin to pop up in ranking from the Google Business Profile. And then, like I said, get into the social media stuff a little bit. And I'll tell you this, do not give up. Do not give up, you know, do not give up for, 6 months at least. Don't give up. People give up and stop. And I don't expect your Google Business Profile to gain leads. Now, if you need leads before it begins to work, you can go to HomeAdvisor, Angie, Thumbtack, and I'm not Yelp. I'm not condoning any of these. A lot of guys hate these platforms, but they work for some people. You could, it depending on, you could knock on doors if you didn't have anything else to do. You could pass out flyers if you didn't have anything else to do. While you're doing a job, put a little sign in the yard. I can power wash for you too, and your phone number. Put something in the yard every time you're doing something, and it might be worth it to have a little magnetic thing. Remember, on the truck, you want to get it hired non-owned auto, possibly. Make sure you have an LLC. If you don't have any money, you got to do what you got to do, but there are legal ramifications to getting sued if you start up a business and you don't have an LLC or a corporation. All right, guys. Anybody got any other questions for me? I am happy to answer them. I am Nolan Walker. Been in business forever, I feel like, at 51. I own HVAC Webmasters, Plumbing Webmasters, Roofing Webmasters, and DataPens Map Ranking app, and I own some real estate. I love what I do. I love being an entrepreneur. I walked across the stage in 5th grade, and everybody laughed because I said I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wanted to be astronauts and football stars and doctors, lawyers, pilots, things like that. And I always wanted to own businesses. I don't want to own the same kind of business as I used to. Yeah, everybody wants to do a restaurant. Seems like a horrible thing to own. Glad I never started one of those, but I have tried a lot and failed. I probably had about 5 businesses do really well, and I probably had about 20 failures, and I've had hundreds of other things that I tried that failed, hundreds and hundreds. But it was the few that made my life better. And I love the freedom that I get from it. I love the freedom that I get from it. I think it's great. So I get a lot of freedom being an entrepreneur. There's a lot of self-discipline, though. No one's telling me to do this live right now. No one's telling me to start my personal brand and synergize my business brands. Nobody tells me to do that. I do that because I want to, and I like the freedom. I like going for it. Any other questions? Anybody have any other questions? I will say, what else can I ask? What can I go over? So I'd kind of call myself an accidental entrepreneur because I didn't get the silver spoon quite the way I thought I was going to get it. I think I was born with the silver spoon kind of on some level, and then it got taken out of my mouth, and you end up being an entrepreneur. So I didn't get the cush setup that I thought I was going to get. So you end up working for yourself, man, just working. So a lot of us that do entrepreneurial stuff, a lot of the new generation is getting into entrepreneurial stuff because they have a phone and they can just start, and man, they can make money younger. They don't have to push a lawnmower like I did. And the problem with it is, though, if you don't have some urgency, like, you're going to go homeless if you don't make money. You won't push yourself enough. So some people just end up working somewhere because they're scared of that, or don't start because they've got comfort. So I didn't have the comfort. And a lot of us that are in entrepreneurial stuff and own businesses, that's exactly how we got here and stayed here. Yeah. How do I stay consistent and motivated? I've done this one before, but you'll stay consistent and motivated by having a dream and experiencing that dream. You can have a daily affirmation. I used to have one that I had written down all the time called I am, and you can list all the things that you want, but don't make it just like, material possessions, like how you want to be, health, how you want your lifestyle to be, and family, where you see yourself living, not just a big home and stuff and cars, but you can put that in there too, how much money in cars. But if you want to stay consistent and motivated, read a daily affirmation. And if you want to take it to the better level of that, visualize the lifestyle as you want it to be, um, as though it's already occurred, and experience it with some sort of feeling. So you feel that it's already occurred. Close your eyes once a day. You wake up in the morning, I do Wim Hof breathing techniques and other things, but ground and wake up, and then be grateful and experience gratitude for what you have, and visualize and experience it as though it's already happened for what you want. And it's key, because people will always be going towards a destination that they never make it to, kind of like a mirage or an optical illusion. It's fake. Don't fight for the destination, fight for the day, and experience the end result as though it's already happened. If you did any of that stuff, just start out with a simple affirmation. You're waking up, brushing your teeth in the morning, put some notes on the mirror, remind yourself, stay positive. And I don't know how old you are, but I will tell you to be careful. We all negative self-talk, positive talk yourself. I don't care if it's anxiety or just self-negative talk. If you say something negative or talk about a narrative that hasn't even occurred, like you're ruminating and talking about stuff that hasn't happened, paint a positive picture and overwrite that literally deliberately with positive talk back to yourself. And I would positive talk 3 times for every time I negative talked or ran an anxiety stricken future that doesn't exist, that hasn't happened. So you want to run these narratives back positive and be grateful for what you have today. Okay, guys, any other questions? I'll say a lot of times too, you're going to need urgency. So you do have a place to stay. You do have a full fridge. You do have a warm bed. You need it now. I mean, go after it now, and don't go burn up everything in the bank account or anything like that. I'm just saying, if you need to go start something, take action like something needs to be done now. Try to get it all done in 90 days flat, not 2 years. Now, it's fine to have it on an IM, but when these dreams come into the future casting, it'll stop you from acting today. So make action and do something today. That is a good, you want to have urgency. You want to move forward quickly. Don't beat yourself up over it. Positive talk yourself, but take some action. Take some action today and act like you needed it yesterday. Otherwise, you just won't start. So yeah, other questions, I'm happy to answer anything. Dreams are important, and realizing those as they've already occurred with emotion. I literally do this every morning, just in case anybody wants to know. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't move forward very well. I'd get stuck in my present situation, and I would get too anxiety stricken, and I'd fall behind. And so me merely working on my brand, having a kid troll me from time to time on here or whatever, I'm doing this because I want it yesterday, and it needs to get done. I actually was going to do this about 3 years ago and didn't do it. I've been in marketing for contractors for 15 years, and we do great at that on Google and all that. And they don't even need to necessarily do this level of personal branding. They do a different type. But for me personally, that I do marketing, and my business model is slightly different than what my clients is that I help them with. This is something I should have already done. And so I provided urgency to myself, and I started, and no matter what. And I'm here speaking, helping, and I will move forward till it's successful. That's another thing too. People stop beforehand. So when you're starting up a new business, it doesn't matter if you're going to make AdSense money on YouTube videos, or if you're going to be a plumber, roofer, HVAC, or power washer, or if you're going to, whatever you're going to do, an accountant, get a professional trade and work that. People stop before success. They stop, and then also people stop and get status quo. They feel comfortable. They wish they had more, but the bills are paid, and they stop fighting more. So you'll have to continue to fight and pretend that money doesn't exist that you have. If you want to continue to get stuff, you have to invest, and that's a different topic. Nowadays, guys, a brand, holy cow, the brand of the business, the brand of the person, the integration of all of it. It's a whole different story all by itself. But brand synergizes everything. And we've all become odd, we've all drawn away personally, but become oddly more social through social media, and people want to connect with everyone. And so a person has to be willing to stand up if they've got a business and put themselves out there. I'm an introverted guy overall, but I love entrepreneurial stuff. I love business. I love marketing. And I guess maybe the reason I didn't do this several years ago is because I was a little scared. I'm introverted. I'm not looking to necessarily put myself out there to y'all, but I want to be connected with what's going on in society, especially as it pertains to entrepreneurial and marketing. And so it's necessary. And I feel better doing it than not doing it, by the way. So I feel much better doing this than not doing this. I mean, and you'll find as you get older that you never really feel bad about stuff you tried and failed at. You feel bad about things you didn't do. And then time just marches on. So I'm a little introverted over extroverted who might love to get out and do this stuff, but I feel way worse if I don't actually try and do it. And you'll find that with almost everything in life. So a lot of people get frustrated and mad at people that make money that are business people and lash out at them on social media. You see a lot of that, but I think people lash out because they didn't try at all. And then they feel bad. And people that tried at least knew how hard it was, and they're not likely to become a hater. Very unlikely. There's people I see on social media that I don't agree with all the time, but I don't hate upon them because I know how hard it is. I have respect for them working in the first place. I don't like it when influencers take advantage of people and it seems like they're gaming people for money. But you shouldn't hate on people that tried. And it's hard to hate on people if you go out and try to start your own business. I promise you, you'll change quick how you think about it. So it's easy to cast a stone or judge. But if you're out there working and trying, you see how hard it is. You won't judge other people. But I'm telling you, as hard as it is to be an entrepreneur and try stuff on your own, it's harder to not try as a human and try to go up another level because you'll regret it. And the people that don't try and experience regret become the haters, in my opinion. Overthink this kind of stuff. Guys, any questions? I've been doing business forever. I'd love to answer questions. No strings attached. Got a question? Don't care what it is. Business, marketing, success, lifestyle, how to live the best life, how much I work, how hard has it been? Has it been worth it? Not worth it? What would I change? All that kind of stuff. What can you do? What can you do to start? What can you do to improve the business that you have? Are you having trouble with marketing? I do a ton with marketing. I have 3 digital marketing agencies. I help a lot of home service contractors, roofers, plumbers, HVAC, restoration. I know a ton about that. Ton. Grew up in it. I am a legitimate business guy, not just a coach that never did a business. How can you help with a roadmap of a successful business? I'd start with a passionate individual that at least pretended like they didn't have an option but to start that business and move forward. I'll tell you one of the most frustrating things I see watching businesses, because I have a few hundred clients that I help with digital marketing. They get their head messed up about the nature of what's going on. So I like this question and I'm going to tell you the number one best thing. You are a digital brand nowadays. You must market to get a lead that will lead to a sale. And nowadays it's graded through algorithms digitally. If you're not willing to do that in some manner, now I don't care if you're branded on social media selling a drop shipping product, or if you're plumber, roofer, HVAC, and or accountant or whatever. If you're providing a service or you're drop shipping a product or whatever this is, you're going to have to get the brand out there, and it's going to have to get seen in the ether of different types of stuff. And then people are going to coalesce around the brand, or they're not. And it's going to be seen through people through social media and algorithmic stuff with search engines, or it won't. And if you limp in and start, signals of experience, expertise, authority, and trust just began. SEO. It's not SEO, it's digital brand signaling. And it's multitudes of it coalescing together. One won't work and synergize without the other. One-sided doesn't normally work. It can if you're just on like Instagram and you're great there, you're just YouTube, or you're great there. I don't know what kind of business you have, but you must market. You must put yourself out there. It must make sense to people and it must continue. And enough humans want to market that if you don't start and you don't keep moving past this place where you would have stopped, it won't work nowadays. The chance of you doing one video or something and having it just tighten up and getting millions of views is almost non-existent. Could happen. You're probably going to have that. But once you get outreach, marketing to a lead, to a converted sale, then you can fix all other aspects of business. Service is because of resources, cash, experience, procedural stuff, all because you have resources, investment afterwards, overhead low, money came in and you made money to get out of the rat race, all because of the sales that came in. In fact, you'll see people that seem like just people you don't like, posers, hosiers, losers, people you don't like. They're arrogant. They're hard to watch. And you know what will happen to that guy if he keeps going and going and going? If he gets marketing right, he wins. He's not as bad as he was 10 years ago. He became the marketing guy and he fixed the services because he didn't want to lose his business because he had resources to do so. But the guy that was the best guy, he never marketed. Nobody knew who he was. He never had a business. So you can have multiple types of individuals get going in marketing, have a fabulous business. And that marketing can be darn near anything, but you've got to be willing to do that. Good question. I used to teach it my kids with the acronym SPITTLE, sales to profit to investment to taxes to legal. But the S is the most important, the sale. I've done that my whole life. It dawned on me early on that it was the sale. It was marketing. That's what it was. I was short-sighted on the brand and should have done this 8 years ago. I was working, doing some of this stuff. I think we were on Periscope before Lives went on to stories on Facebook. And I didn't understand that the personal brand would get big and could be monetized too. So I didn't do it. And so limping in later, but no time too late to start. All those negative narratives too. By the way, the roadmap to success, people won't start what I just said because they spin a narrative or they don't have urgency. Put a fire under yourself, spin a positive narrative, get out there on marketing. That everything else will fix itself. Everything else. Other questions, guys? Other questions? You think? Oh God. Yeah, I don't get political on this. Trollers, guys. Hey, I'll tell you this, troller, about asking my political views on stuff. You cannot hate that which you wish to become. So as you come and you spend energy trying to take something or hate upon me or something, one of these days I won't answer you guys because I'll have thousands of followers and we'll just mute you and someone else will moderate it for me. But when you come on here trying to take me down a level, trying to find out who I am or trying to have negativity my way, you are hurting yourself and taking your energy. You cannot become that which you hate. If you hate on me, I'm very high up of a 51-year-old businessman entrepreneur to be talking to you right now. I have a very nice life. Chance of you having a nice life trolling me with BS is very low. And I don't want you to have a bad life. I love humans. I love you too. I want you to have a great life. I'm going to help you. I'm going to tell you something. This is important for business. Don't hate and judge as you hate. And you're probably young asking me that. If you hate and judge now, I'm going to guess you're in your teens and you dial to my age and you continue that, you'll be a balled up mess of hate. And when you get that way, you can't possibly move forward in society and do well. Spread love. Don't judge. Work on yourself. And I'll tell you too, the person who asked me that question that I'm not going to go into on it, have a positive narrative, write an affirmation, say nice things to yourself. And every time you start to think about throwing hate out to another individual, say something positive. All right, guys. Another good question. Haters, you're hurting yourself, man. I am so thick-skinned, you'd be shocked. I've had way worse than your stupid questions on the chat. Okay, what's this question? marketing wise. So being here is a good step. Being here and listen to me. I'm no BS guy. Initial steps on marketing guy. I need to know, are you wanting to be a marketing guy like me? I need to know the business. If I could start you from step one on something, but if I'm a roofer, a plumber, an HVAC guy, I'm going to start a Google business profile. I'm going to get a verified Google account and limp in and say, I'm here. Please recognize me. I'm going to get a simple website to start with. I'm eventually going to get someone like roofing webmasters, plumbing webmasters, HVAC webmasters, in there. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start there. I'm going to start getting reviews. I'm going to knock a door if I have to, but I'm going to get digital going. So I need to know. Yeah. Okay. As far as that's concerned, I tell you what, if it's niche software engineer, I'm going to still put myself out there. I'm going to put myself out there probably on YouTube in this. Yeah, I'd put myself out there on YouTube and LinkedIn. I don't have a ton of LinkedIn experience, but I would put myself out there, and I'd do things that I wouldn't normally do. So let's assume you're selling yourself hourly services, and I think it's fabulous for that kind of stuff. If your goal is to like get like $500 an hour and like 1,000, I don't know, whatever it is. I don't know how high up on software programming you go, but do put yourself out there, talk about it, have a show, talk to a friend, start a podcast, do some long form content that'll get keyword searched on YouTube, have people buying. One of the biggest problems that we all have when we go to try to produce software is we don't trust anybody. Everybody screwed us around, can't leave the country with it. It's tough. So do a podcast about it. In the title, optimize on YouTube, the stuff that people might search. You may have a very small sub base, and you'd be shocked at the conversion on that sub base. I mean, I'm telling you, shocked. I have thousands and other niche things like roofing, plumbing, HVAC, webmasters, data pins. I have tons of business come from it. We have like 1,500 subs on one platform and 300 on another one, 3,000 on another one. And so you'll be shocked if you'll get into your niche, talk about the nuance of the niche on a long form, and you might throw in some shorts and longs on YouTube. It may be all you need. And then you're looking to book time, possibly, right? And then you may stay booked on that and be the go-to guy for this stuff. But I would get on there, and I would not be discouraged by having a few subs, because it'll synergistically take effect. And then just have a place where they can come contact you somehow, whether it's a website or some other way to get in touch with you. But I would definitely put myself out there on social media for this. I don't know how much I'd worry about a Google optimization. I do, like, my stuff is almost all still Google, because people who own homes are still all going to Google. This hasn't changed to ChatGPT and Bing yet. But if I'm a software engineer trying to book my time, I'm doing a podcast, long form, short form. I may just start with YouTube. I don't want to get too complicated. If I could get out of there a little bit, it might be LinkedIn, maybe, so I can get a hold of the people that are going to pay me money. But I would start doing some content, obscure, and then don't give up and get it out there, because you can look up it'll at least be searchable. YouTube is better than you think it is, far better than you think it is. In fact, I might go look out there for some people that are already doing this and see what they're doing, but I wouldn't draw too much conclusion if they only have 800 subs. That guy may be living the life with 1,000 subs on a niche, all for like a YouTube account. All right, guys. I appreciate that question, by the way. But have faith too. Once you start that, I'm telling you, you'd be shocked if you build a little brand around a. I was suggesting this to one of my kids the other day, because they're thinking about getting maybe a degree on like executive functioning training for a kid or something. So they're going into college. You take a profession and you add in marketing, and you'll be shocked. So you have one professional almost broke. Or let's say you're a software engineer, make 150, you got another guy making 800 grand. My dad was a CPA. He never made much money. I met a CPA at VidCon, and he's got 160,000 subs on Instagram, and he's got 20 people working with an accounting firm. And it's like mind blown. 28-year-old dude. He was on a panel. He was awesome. His name was Duke. Duke Loves Accounting on Instagram. And he was putting himself out there. And combining that, Duke Loves Accounting with with that Instagram account and YouTube, and he had a YouTube account. YouTube had asked him to be on a panel discussion. I was just there listening to a conference. Took my kid, who's making 100 grand a year on YouTube at 17 years old, doing shorts, and it was so refreshing watching that kind of stuff. But you're talking about a profession combined with it, and go look at Duke Loves Accounting, and you'll find a guy that and I met him and shook his hand, and it was fabulous. It's a mind blow moment. And if you could end up with a few software engineers with you and you're running this stuff, talking about it, I mean, you could have more than you think by combining this stuff. And almost nobody combines high-end modern marketing with a professional service, a contracting service, or a standard business. Most of the stuff that we see curated content on is just people doing things like AdSense, sensational videos, but there's so much money as a tie-in to a business, and most of the people are missing it. Is because most of the people have gone in the workforce, professional degree, or they're older and they're not doing it. At VidCon, there's 50, 60,000 people, and lots of them are kids that are already dialed in. So when you see someone older that wraps it all those older people are like, oh, wow, look at what he did. That's crazy cool. Like any accountant could have done what Duke did. They don't. And at 28 years old, for 20 people in a firm, growing up as my dad as an accountant without any help, and he didn't market well, it's mind blowing almost. So yeah, definitely check into that stuff. Yeah, I think personal branding's it, dude. Like, yeah, I mean, I think anybody not doing personal branding right now is missing massive trending. The feel of it out there from humanity, for me being an entrepreneur, is deafening. And for me to be 51 and do marketing for other people on organic, and they don't need all this level yet, but I think it's all trending that direction. So yeah, I think that anyone not doing it is missing one of the major trends in humanity right now. I'll take it that far. Like, this is going to change stuff. It's going to change a lot, and it seems like you're too late, but it just started. It needs to be part of your plan. Yeah, there's a reason I'm up here doing it, and I own digital marketing agencies. Yeah, I don't, AI hasn't affected at least what we do yet much. It's provided tools for designers, writing, content changed. People have to be more productive. Employees try to limp in and do less work with AI, and that just hadn't happened yet. I remember being in a car with my mother in the in the late 80s, and I remember hearing something about, hey, computers are going to cause people to work half as much. What are we going to do with all of our free time? And what AI has done is the same thing the computer did back then. A human has to be more productive. So the human has to be more productive. So AI is providing tools for people that work here, and we've downsized some staff positions like content writers because we get content through AI infused pages through data pins. And Google doesn't want trash content. Like, for content itself, I know AI does a lot more, but 96.5% of pages written for the internet never get viewed by a human because we were already trashing up the internet. So Google made a hard stance on type of content and signaling because of trash that already existed. And then the AI made it worse. And so everybody thought, oh, I'll just throw out more blogs and crud. As far as helping with, about tech, I mean, it makes APIs a lot easier, right? And getting information quick for programming. But yeah, it'll eventually affect everything. I don't know. All I can tell you is that I positively move forward and expect to be of service and expect to be of value. The day comes when robots are walking around, and doing everything. I don't know. All I do today is work and expect. I think it'll be a while. In the meantime, I think humans need to be more effective and use AI to help. And then they're whether they like it or not, they're working and performing 300% more stuff than they used to be, or 500% more stuff. It was a lot more than when I was in the 80s and computers were supposed to make our lives easier. I don't think that happens until robots literally do everything. I think until then, the human has to become more efficient with the tools of AI and whatever else is out there. It has been nothing but that the whole time, by the way. In fact, employees that sit at home and try to work and claim they're working an 8-hour day, all that's over, coming in, people coming back into work, people getting laid off and fired from it. So, yeah, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. In the meantime, work and do the best you can. Other questions, guys? I'm going to see if I have any. The brand, I do want to talk about that brand. By God, the brand. Heck yeah, brand. Personal brand, digital brand, content out. You better get it. You'd be shocked if you do it, and change that thought process in your head too. Remember, positive narrative about all this stuff. You've got old narratives clogging your brain up to ask me that question on the follow-up. I'm telling you. You've been thinking other ways, but you know that's not happening. In fact, I'd argue that it's your brain fighting you because you don't want to do it because you're introverted. Anybody programming software is an introvert. Get out there. There's a guy that does stuff in roofing that has a broken Ukrainian accent that's awesome. Everybody loves him. So I don't care if you even speak English perfectly. There's some of the most successful people have an accent or something is fabulous. Yeah, I would just start something. I would just get a camera and start talking about a specialty topic, specialty programming that you know about. If I didn't know what to do, and I just sit somebody next to me and put it on camera like a podcast format, I'd go YouTube first because it's a searchable platform. All right, yeah, but that brand it's it, man. It's it. And it'll be the business, and then people will find you and trust you. Like I said, nobody trusts software engineers on when you're subbing them. I mean, they're just not a trustworthy thing to do. So this will take that away, and then establish you as an expert in your field and authority on it. And then trust will come in as somebody watches it. The sales will be made as they follow your brand. So it's imperative. Be hard to get clients otherwise, unless you're doing something so elite that nobody does it in the country. Yeah, new stuff. I will tell you that you need to be trying new stuff all the time too. And I'll also tell you, I talked about being an accidental entrepreneur earlier. Man, you may not like it, but that's you. Own it already. So you went and got a profession. You want to make more money, have more stuff, have a few people working for you, subbing their programming efforts out too. Own the fact that you own a company. You got a profession, but it's nothing without the hourly. You're looking to get paid hours. That's what professionals do, right? I'm an entrepreneur. I have businesses. I don't get paid the same way. My personal time's valuable, but I typically don't get paid by the hour. You get paid by the hour, your professional service, doctor, lawyer, accountant, software engineer. Own the fact that you bought into a business, whether you liked it or not, because there's a lot of professional services that don't make money. This counts for anybody out there with anything. And then put yourself out there and market to lead to a sale. Build the brand, build the credibility, and people will begin to know who you are and trust you. I'm a no spin, no BS guy. I'm going to do the best I can. One of the first ones I did is that I can't stand being a faker, a poser, feeling like a douche. I can't stand it. And I don't think I started personally, because when I started trying to sound like other people. I remember filming myself on a beach. I don't want to show you all that. I did it and felt like a jackass when I did it. So when I do mine, I'll be me, no faking, no poser, no BS. And you get Nolan Walker. And so if I had to give you something else about it, be yourself. Otherwise, you won't do it. And people are smart. They can tell if someone's bringing their real self to them or not. And I'm personally not going to do it. And I recommend you do the same. I think people are dying for like a genuine experience talking to a human, because everybody's trying to curate this perfect BS persona. Yeah, right. You do need to escape the rat race. You do need to take risks, man. That's your risk, though, right? So I'll tell you to keep overhead low and invest the profits, but I don't think a software engineer is going to have trouble with that logic. So you keep your overhead low and invest. Otherwise, you run that hamster wheel in the rat race forever. Get a house You might leverage some debt and stuff, but mainly if you just stay boring, get that day to day lifestyle dialed in. You don't have to go get a mansion. You can get some trees and a pool in the backyard and a nice landscaping and nice designed home. It could be a small 3-2, and then you put money in stocks or something or investment wealth manager and escape the rat race. But if you run and expand and keep the overhead high and make no profits and go flash all your money and get whips, kicks, cars, BS to make society feel better about you and you feel better about what society thinks about you, yeah, you'll have a hard time of it. I normally didn't flash money. Let me rephrase it. I never flash money, like buying cars and all that, but didn't invest enough. And then it's too much business expansion. That alone can like kill a business guy's ability to be stable and escape the rat race. So you'll end up not escaping the rat race just because you're like, oh, let's do a second location or let's hire another person. Like, no, you keep the overhead low. You do work in the business. That's one thing I hate. All these so-called coach advisors, I can tell you by looking at these guys for years, almost none of them have ever run a successful business. The first successful business was the coaching influencer stuff itself. And they'll say, don't work on your business, in your business, work on your business. Well, Elon works all the time. Warren Buffett works all the time. Like, we have eyes. I see them. You see them. They work. They change the nature of work, but they're working in the business, on the business all the time. And if they don't, the business doesn't do well. When you're not going to work in and on your business, you might as well just sell it and move on or be retirable. So you will work. You'll do stuff you don't want to do, like what I'm doing now. You'll do it or you won't do as well. You work your business or you won't do as well. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do. And let me say this about it. Um, it's worth it. It's worth it. I don't want to underplay this. There'll be failure, heartache, there'll be joy, but you'll be your own person, your own man. You'll run your own business. You'll have freedom and time. You'll self-discipline yourself, and you'll be able to run your own life. And it's worth it because you'll have regrets if you don't try this. Yeah, maybe. I don't know about all the AI stuff. I'll tell you guys, I'm not here to be your crypto expert. I'm not here to fluff you on stuff. World's changing rapidly. I'll say this about, is AI going to do this or that? I think the worry is the enemy here of all of us moving forward. There's so much to worry about. Um, you could have said this 5 years ago and not done anything. I don't know. It feels like this stuff could happen this time. Like, we've talked about it forever. Like, everybody's worried about the end of the world from when I was a kid to now. And some of it feels more real, but nothing's happened yet. I hope that AI advances medical greatly and that we don't all, have a bad last 10 years and inflammation. Like, I hope that doesn't happen, but will it replace stuff? I don't know. Don't worry about it. Take whatever you can do and move forward. Do the best you can. If AI is disrupting an industry you're about to go into, if that's the nature of the question, maybe be careful about where you go and what you do. But I have a hard time seeing humanity turn loose of doctors and a human being in an operating room anytime soon. I think you'll still have the human around. But other than that, I don't want you to worry about it too much. Say, I'm valuable. I'm going to do well, positive stuff. So these is tripping on future stuff that hadn't happened. It's negativity. It's going to stop you in your tracks. I don't want you to be like that. I'm like that too, by the way. I have anxiety run away with me. So I want you to be positive, think positive, work, and assume you're going to have great value and do well and make money and have a good life. That's what I'll tell you about the AI questions. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but move forward with good intention. What else can you do besides not do anything? Right now, you can move forward, have a good life, try to be of value, provide something. AI will change things. Yes. Other questions, guys? I'm happy to answer anything. We're approaching an hour here. I personally, we got a little time though. Got a little time, and I'm happy to answer questions. Any other questions anybody has, I'll be happy to answer them. Other questions? business questions, life questions. I do think it's worth it to be an entrepreneur. Absolutely. It's fun. I like it. I think the more I commit to it, to working in the business, on the business with clients, helping them, the better it gets for me. The more I avoided things that were things I didn't want to do, the harder it was. The more I've embraced the difficult, the better it's gotten quicker. Yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with the way things turned out. Didn't Like I said, most entrepreneurs didn't end up being an entrepreneur because they wanted to be. So I believe that it was the best path. For years, I thought, I'm like, oh, woe is me. Woe is me that I didn't get to go to college and do this stuff and have the support levels, have all this stuff that I thought I wanted. But as I had to do my own business, I feel like it was just such a better path. I like being my own man, being my own boss. I like striving for stuff. It gets to be a bit much sometimes with stress, but I like it. And life gets better all the time. I've lived a bit of a charmed life, I think, compared for what most people think. I've lived on in Hawaii for years. I'm in Texas. I'm a Texas guy, but I've done a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have been able to do if I didn't do my own thing. And I do like it. I get better at it. I plan on working forever in some manner. I didn't used to really plan on that. And it's not money wise. It's just I want to stay connected. I want to be of service. And the more I work and help and do, the better I feel. I don't feel better when I start talking about retirement or trying to get out or sell or doing. That doesn't make me feel better. What makes me feel better is helping people, talking to people, working and being plugged into the best I can be. And that's what I would want for you. It's hard to be happy entirely all the time. But if you don't go try to do your own self, your own business, I think you're going to have a harder time and have more regret. And one of the reasons I'm doing my personal brand right now is just to make sure that I don't have that regret. And I feel better, promise you, doing this right now. Any other questions, guys? Other questions? I'm Nolan Walker. Got time for a few more questions. I own Roofing Webmasters, Plumbing Webmasters, HVAC Webmasters, Data Pens, Map Ranking app. I own some real estate. I've been in business for, I don't know, 35, 40 years, something like that. 35 years, 36 years, 37 years since I could push a lawnmower in my neighborhood, and I baby stepped up the echelons. I've got a lot of experience, and I'm happy to help. Business questions, marketing questions, life questions, entrepreneur questions. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions I'd love to answer? Other questions? Other questions? Anyone? It is July 8th, 2024, after the 4th of July weekend. I'm about to get started with my day here in Fort Worth, Texas. Anybody got any Texas questions? About to go work a little bit and go eat some barbecue. I heard about a new barbecue place. I'm a brisket guy. If you eat barbecue, you know the difference. Pork rib guy, brisket guy. Used to be a pork rib guy. Now I'm a barbecue brisket guy. That's how I judge the merit of a good barbecue place. The one I used to go to used prime beef, but they got bought, sold, and their brisket's dry every time, and I can't have that. So I'm going to go try somebody new. Anybody got questions for me? I got time for one more question before we sign off on it. Anybody? Going to go make a few calls, deal with my business, have some barbecue with my son. So we answer, brand yourself online. I think that's a long question, Max. Long question. Maybe I did a bunch on that. The branding yourself online is a multifaceted thing. Had to do what I'm doing right now. It depends on what kind of business, but I think you were doing power washing. Start with Google. Get your website hooked in, get reviews, digital brand signaling, get verified, have a company name, careful and legal if when you can, Have a name, by the way, if you're a contractor that is brandable. So if you're a power washer like Max here, you don't want to be power washing of Dallas because it's not a brand name. It's keyword stuffing the word Dallas with power washing. You want to be Max's Power Washing LLC. That's a brand. And then Google knows it's you because they don't want to confuse your brand. And then it can go bigger nowadays, and it can go multi-tiered like your Instagram account, TikTok account, YouTube account. But I still, if it's a home service, I'm still starting Google. I'm going Google organic website and Google Map and reviews. That's the start of it. And then that gets as big as it can because if it's home services, that's the big show still. We call that the big show here at the Webmasters. That is the big show. And then you just keep working, don't stop. Everybody stops. Everyone stops, gets complacent, stops, cancels their account, moves. I mean, it's crazy. I have a client that was with me for 7, 8 years, made a ton of money in asphalt paving. They're outside of Austin, Texas. And they should have called, but they moved to another state that has a total of 5 or 6 million population. And they called and said, "Hey, move our stuff over there." I hadn't had the heart to call and tell them. They already moved. They're out of business. So once you do get branded, you take care of your brand. You don't quit, stop, start up again, change the company, move out of state. I mean, you've got to be careful with it. I mean, people treat things haphazardly and get up, limp up, and get going. But that asphalt paving company, they're out of business. They moved to 1,500 people with no population center around them. Whole state doesn't have anybody in them. Yeah, I got a question. I got time. Go ahead. You're very welcome to ask a question. Go ahead. But yeah, that company moved out of I mean, they're done. They are done. So be careful with your brand once you build it. And you don't treat it that way. And they made money because they worked for 7 years. Now they moved somewhere else. I guarantee you they're going to run out of money. And wish they pine for the days that they're in the outskirts of Austin. I mean, come on. Gosh, it's a good question. You know, it's a good one to leave on too. I'd work for the day. I'd dream in the day. I'd appreciate my current lifestyle and not shoot for a destination. I shot for a destination and I made it to a destination, lived on in Hawaii with my family a couple of times. And I've vacationed there enough, maybe at 51, and lived there for 3 or 4 years of my life, 4 years. And I'm tired of that stuff. So it's a nice thing to be able to say, I'm tired of Hawaii. I'm a Texas guy. I don't like a couple of things about it. Life is not about reaching a destination. And I see that in people all the time. People reach a destination, and then what do? They're not participating in society. It's over. They made it. It doesn't really exist. It's a mirage. So I still go there, but I'm going less and less. I don't care to go anymore. It's out of my system. To like, I made it to the destination. When you have the dream, you visualize. Instead of a linear road, I'd visualize like an firmament and like a circle, and that everything that I have and want exists at the same time. And I experience joy and emotion that has already occurred. And then things move rapidly. And when I'm in this point in time, I make this life, this house, the best. People go on vacation or have a destination as a dream, as a hope, and they don't even have a nice yard out front. They have weeds in their flower bed. The inside could be fixed. They spend all their money on 1 or 2 trips a year if they're lucky. And it's not the way to live. You live now and integrate with society, help your fellow man, be of service in your business, have your house nice, eat nice food here, cook something nice on your stovetop. Don't get poisoned out in society with fast food or whatever. Do a good job of living where you are. There's very little other stuff. I was born in Fort Worth, Texas. It's hard to beat Fort Worth, Texas. It's hot right now. We're getting rain right now from a hurricane off the coast, but we're very inland. We're not getting hurricane weather. We're just getting rain, but it's cool today, but it's usually like 100 degrees here. It's not perfect anywhere. Make your life great today. And then the second thing I'll tell you, invest early. Don't overdo expenses or spend. Invest early on. Compound interest is real. Get going early. And then part of that is having dreams, but don't let the dreams just go crazy all the time to where they eat up, cause expenses, eat up profits. And so get a profit, stay involved in the business, help people, and live today where you are. Don't fight for a destination. I love that one for an end. Thank you for that, by the way. King's Bazaar Adventure. I hope you enjoyed that response. Guys, I am here to help you guys. I so want to have more entrepreneurs and friends and peers around me. I don't know that I'll sell anything off of this Nolan Walker channel someday, but I really want to just provide help. I appreciate everybody today. I plan on coming back on. Like and subscribe as you would to my channels. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I work in that manner now, but it took too long to get to it. It took too long. But those are part of our lessons in life. We're all going to have successes and failures. It's not like I didn't spend a lot of time with my kids and do other things, but it could have been a little better. Those two things would have done it. And I'd say walk the path in the light too. I stay religiously grounded too. Staying religiously grounded would have stopped me from doing some of these things, by the way. So I keep my faith about me as well. And you'll find a lot of successful business people telling you that last thing too. Guys, love you. Appreciate it. And come join me again on the next one. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. Thank you so much.